Howdy, everyone, and welcome into the TexAgs Tailgate Show. I'm Luke Evangelist, filling in for Richard Zane for just a moment here. We will get back to our regularly scheduled programming in just a second, but it is a very pleasant game day to you all, wherever you may be. So many different storylines are in play today. A&M is chasing down a 6-0 start for just the second time since 1994. Florida's quarterback is coming back to the state of Texas. Some of you may remember the last time Florida brought a quarterback from the state of Texas. That was Kyle Trask in 2020, and A&M won that game when Florida was a top 5 team and A&M was looking to pull the upset. Now the roles are reversed with A&M being the top 5 team and Florida trying to pull the upset. The Ags are honoring the 1975 Southwest Conference Championship team, the 50th anniversary of that team, and Florida's coach, Billy Napier, is coaching for his life. Unbelievable storylines in play, a super exciting game on hand, and we are here to start it off with the TexAgs Tailgate. Tonight, it's just another big-time SEC contest as the 5th-ranked Texas A&M Aggies are hosting Florida. It's a great time to be an Aggie, and it's a great time against an opponent that Mike Elko has said is the most talented team they faced by far. That goes with Notre Dame and Auburn and Mississippi State. Mike Elko said earlier this week that Florida is the most talented team A&M has played by far. As I said, I'm Luke Evangelist, filling in briefly for Richard Zane. This is the TexAgs Tailgate Show, presented by our friends at Duck Camp. We're just about 90 minutes off from kickoff between Texas A&M and Florida. Here's what you can expect in this program. In just a few seconds, we're going to go live from Kyle Field and check in with David Nuno, the TexAgs Director of Content and host of TexAgs Live, who conveniently is live at Kyle Field as the energy is building. Throughout the show, we're going to give you a handful of players to watch. We're going to break down the SEC Student Athlete Availability Report, which should drop momentarily. And we're going to provide updates on Prize Picks as player numbers are coming out just 90 minutes before game day starts. And we're going to look at other games around the country that have happened and that are currently going on as we watch Texas start the second half with the ball against Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout. We'll go over that game and so many other games around the country. And we're going to make some predictions for tonight's matchup. We will get to that at the end of the show. We're just moments away now from chatting with David Nuno. But first, it's time to pay some bills and show a ton of appreciation for Duck Camp for jumping on as the presenting sponsor of the TexAgs Tailgate Show. So wherever you are, whether you're gearing up for a hunt, a fishing trip, or just trying to survive the October heat in College Station, Duck Camp has you covered. So check it all out at duckcamp.com. It is built for the outdoors and designed for everything else. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. Now we're going to go live to Kyle Field to hear from David Nuno, the host of TexAgs Live, and someone who is going to give you all the access you need right down to kickoff. He is checking in live from Kyle Field. So we're going to go to David Nuno. David, how's it looking from there?
Hey, Luke. The best part about today is that you got to experience what tap dancing is all about on a radio show or a TV show, because you had to figure out, how am I going to talk for the next 3 or 4 minutes as Richard gets his publishing done and Nuno's camera starts working. That was real. I was very proud of your efforts there. But a couple things. I will try to give you as much access as possible, but not all the way to kickoff here on this show, because I think we got a 5-minute hit. But you know what I found it today, Luke? And I was mentioning this to Kay a moment ago. Kind of a subdue walk to Kyle Field today, where the last couple of games, there's been like a lot of activity and a little, not rowdiness, but just like this is almost like a business trip for the fans is what I feel like. It's not that they aren't excited. They're super excited, but a little bit more of a, all right, we got to take care of this homestand right now. Let's get it done. And that's kind of the vibe I got when I walked here to the stadium today.
Well, David Nuno, I think I can finally say howdy to you. And also, as you said, give some appreciation to our guy, Luke Evangelist, right? Because the breaking news was that 2027 Warner Robins Northside defensive tackle Elijah Patman has committed to Texas A&M. He's the 4th member of that 2027 class now, David. It's now 2 commitments for Texas A&M during this 3-game homestand. So thanks to Luke for helping us out. David, howdy. I know you've got some, if you've got a special guest you've got to get up to see here in the press box in just a couple of minutes. So I'll just go ahead and open the floor up for you. What storyline are you most interested in this one? Because as Luke read at the top, there's so many intriguing ones that we have our eyes on.
A couple of things that I'm looking at is how healthy is DJ Lagway. I talked to an insider this morning. They said he was 100% good to go, no problems. And you saw that on the injury report. He was not listed. And then I also did a follow-up question. I was like, but what about all these injuries that I'm seeing? I mean, how many of these guys are actually contributors? And in fact, I'm going to do this on the show. I'm going to pull a Billy Lucci / Ryan Broderick. I'm going to read you the response I got. The response was actually, I won't tell you that right now because my phone froze. But basically, what he said was that these guys aren't that big of a loss for Texas, for Florida. Now it's open. It says here, I'll read it to you. Sure thing. The guys that were ruled out last night, Livingston's the only one that's really noteworthy. He's not special, but he does play a ton. Napier likes to go 12 personnel. I'm not sure their tight end 3 is good enough to fill in as a blocker in that role. But the rest of the guys, they said not a major loss because a lot of them they've been playing with that anyway. So considering that on the 12 personnel, considering how good of a running team that Florida is, considering that they like to control the line of scrimmage, I do think that is an interesting storyline to keep watching. And to me is, if you can follow up what Florida does running wise, I think you can put DJ Lagway in some very bad situations like we saw that happened against LSU when they had to go to Baton Rouge. It's, Billy Napier's got a terrible record on the road. 1-13 on the road, and he's really struggled against top 25 teams. This is a game that A&M needs to jump on Florida early and really make them feel like they're out of it.
I know you've got to go quick here, David, so I'll go ahead and jump to the chase. X factor you're watching for this one and prediction. And I know you're down on field level, so give me a handful of thoughts before we let you go and run and do your other duties.
So right now, I think it's just most Florida players out on the field, not a lot.
And Kay Nagley, right? Kay Nagley out on the field too. Yeah, I watched her walk away.
She just walked off over there. But yeah, so right now it's just Florida getting their warm-ups, and A&M was out here for a little bit. They will be back on the field momentarily. All right, X factor for this game. Like I don't want to sound like too control pace or control V and give you the same kind of content, but I do think it's going to be one of those wide receivers. Is it Casey again this week? Is it Mario? I feel like Mario's had a couple of quiet weeks, but he led the team in receiving last week with 81 yards. So, I think that's very captain obvious. Also, another one to consider is Le'Veon Moss. He didn't have to play last week that much. He was a little banged up, and as good as Reuben Owens played, you've got a couple of guys there that can really neutralize anything that Florida wants to do on the defensive side. So that's on the offensive side. On the defensive side, I said this yesterday on TexAgs Live during the final countdown brought to you by La Casa Tequila. I think it's going to be Torian York. I think Torian York had a quiet game last week where he led the team in tackles, but we didn't talk about him a lot. We talked about Damian Sanford in that game, and I think we're going to continue talking about Damian Sanford. But I look for Torian York to play a huge role for Texas A&M defensively this week. And I'd love to see some of the interior guys disrupt what Florida likes to do. If it's Albert Regis or DJ Hicks, one of those interior guys to have a monster performance.
David, you mentioned the SEC student athlete availability report. Scooby Williams, Bryce Anderson, not even listed, means they're good to go for today's ball game. A&M's only guy missing is going to be Keati Armstrong, the freshman tight end.
Yeah, look, A&M is healthy, and we all know what depth on this team is going to mean long term, right? So continue staying healthy, knocking on wood. I hope everybody watching this is knocking on wood because, A&M was able to withstand the linebacker position when Scooby went down, and it really gave an opportunity for Damian Sanford to step up. Now the fact that Scooby's back and the level that Damian Sanford's played at, Gordon Lockhart as well, by the way, in a limited role, I think it only bodes well for Texas A&M. I'm going to actually also tell you another thing to consider, Richard. Let's consider how Des Ricks and Will Lee play. Depending on who gets the assignment of Dallas Wilson, the 6'3" receiver from the Florida side who had over 120 yards against Texas, I really think whoever gets that assignment, they're going to have their best performance of the year.
David, I know you got to run. Thank you so much for making a few minutes for us, and say hi to our good friend up in the press box, Mr. Olin Buchanan.
Thank you, Richard. Great job, buddy. Great job, Luke.
Yeah, Luke as well. Luke, that's David Nuno, TexAgs Director of Content, host of TexAgs Live. Luke, refresh my memory. What have we done here? Have we paid bills? Have we done intros? Have we done through the tailgate reminders? What have we done as I try and get my wits about me?
So what I did so far, really all you missed was me reading the intro and paying the bill to Duck Camp, our great sponsor and presenting sponsor of this show. That's pretty much it. So if we want to, go from there.
Let's do it. All right. Let's tell the people what's going on outside these walls right now. All right. TexAgs Tailgate Show, you're watching that right now. But if you are in College Station and you want to make your way to 308 George Bush Drive, there's a real-life tailgate going inside the parking lot in front of the TexAgs office. A little bit about what you can expect. We got drinks. We got food that you can purchase. We've got the best games on that 2:30 window. Plenty of action. I don't know if anybody knows this, but the Red River rivalry is turning into a Red River rock fight. You can watch the second half of that game right here before making your way into Kyle Field. Vendors you can expect to see: Rebecca Creek Whiskey, Ashley and Company, Revel XP, Catalyst Energy, Alpha Lit, La Casa Tequila, 1775 Pit Barbecue, and Shiner Beers. Earlier this afternoon, I caught up with a few of our vendors, the guys from La Casa, Catalyst, and 1775. Here's what you can expect at 308 George Bush Drive right now. Jackson and Adam are back representing La Casa here at the TexAgs Tailgate. Jackson, once again, tell us about the product, La Casa Tequila.
What's up, guys? We're out here with La Casa. It's all natural, no additive tequila, straight from Jalisco, Mexico. Super good stuff. We have some signature cocktails out here refreshing the Ags. We have the Pineapple Ranch Water and the Purple Paloma featuring Catalyst today.
We know it's a favorite, La Casa Tequila, a favorite of our guy, Billy Lucci. Jackson's our tequila guy. Adam, you're the football guy. Big game tonight. Ags and Gators, 6 o'clock. What are you feeling?
You know, I'm feeling like our defense have been strong. I feel like our offense, you know, they complement the defense pretty well. And I'm taking the same thing. It's worked. Ags by 90.
Why mess with the winning streak? All right, fellas.
One more thing before you go.
One more?
Something for you.
Oh, goodness. Oh, no.
We're going to do a shot for the Ags today.
All right, Ags by 90, right?
Ags by 90. Cheers.
It's good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Make sure you stop by Tequila Taste. We're here with our guys from Catalyst Energy. If you're needing a pick-me-up, get it psyched up before you go into Kyle Field for Ags Gators, this is a place to stop by. Tell us about the product.
Yeah, so Catalyst new energy drink launching out of Texas, really right here out of College Station. So 6 different flavors. We're 120 milligrams of caffeine, so kind of a mild, medium caffeine. Perfect timing. 10 grams of sugar, nootropics, basically focused energy. You're not going to get that big rise or that big crash that you get with a lot of other energy brands. We've got some great mixology going on with the guys next door at La Casa. Heard you guys talking about the Paloma, great drink. Come check us out. Grab some barbecue from 1775 while you're here. And, yeah, just get ready for the game and get energized, be loud, stay loud.
We appreciate you guys stocking the fridge inside. The Orange Dream has gotten me through this week, and you're drinking it right now. What do you say is the best one, your favorite one? And obviously they're all great, but which one do you have strong in your rotation right now?
Right now, the citrus. And it's a hard choice between the citrus. You know, like you said, the Orange Dream is phenomenal. Right before I compete, even right before a test, I'm going to drink one. I'm going to get dialed, locked in. Can't beat them.
Bronny's a big citrus guy. I like the Orange Dream. The Palm Power is really good. The Super Berry. I'm making my way through the list. I promise.
Mine lately. That's been my go-to here lately. And then the grapefruit. If it's hot like today, can't beat the grapefruit.
And what's great about this is it hydrates too.
Absolutely, yeah. When you look at a lot of the other brands that are out there, so 2 of our biggest claims that separate us are muscle recovery and hydration. Hydration being kind of a key component when it's as hot as it is today, and you're going to be standing in the sun for a few hours.
No joke. It's going to be a warm one. It is a warm one out here in College Station. Ags and Gators. How are we feeling about this evening's ball game?
Ags by 7.
Ags by 50. Beat the hell out of Florida. Gig 'em.
I think you're a little bit closer, but I would love Ags by 50. That makes me feel a lot more comfortable.
The same thing I said last week. Anything non-stressful on a win is good for me. So
exactly. Make sure you guys stop by TexAgs Tailgate. Get yourself a Catalyst energy drink before you head in. Watch the Ags take on Florida. All right, guys, we're here with Brandon from 1775. What's on the menu today at the TexAgs Tailgate?
So today we've got our pulled pork today with our Carolina mustard sauce, and then we got our sausage wraps, regular and pepper jack today. Y'all come out and get some good Q.
It's really, really good Q. You're selling it short. I even say it's great Q. Now, where can people find the full menu, and when can they find it?
So you can go on our website at 1775txbbq.com, and that'll show our menu. Plus, we're open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 11 till sold out off at 8203 Raymond Stocher Parkway, College Station, out by the river. Come out and get our queue. Get out there early because we do sell out fast. That 11 till sold out most of the time can be selling out 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Wow. Definitely worth the drive. A short trip across the river. Brandon, Aggies and Gators tonight. How are we feeling? What's your prediction for this one?
I'm feeling A&M 23-20. I think it's going to be a close one, but I think we pulled it out at 23-20.
Perfect. That'd be making me feel real good. And if you can chase a win or preview a win with some barbecue from 1775, that's the perfect afternoon in my book.
Yes, sir, that is. Barbecue goes great with everything.
Of course, you guys make sure you stop by, get yourself some barbecue from 1775 right here at the TexAgs Tailgate on your way into Kyle Field. So last TexAgs Tailgate of the year, Luke. They need to stop by 308 George Bush Drive for La Casa, Catalyst, 1775, Good Vibes, and much more right now. You might even get to see Luke Evangelist. That's what the people want. That's what the people need, a Luke Evangelist appearance.
I don't know about all that. I think they're more here to see Richard Zane and Billy Lucci, maybe the occasional David Nuno if he teleported back over here. But I think it's more about y'all, not me.
Maybe Ryan Broninger will lobby lizard it on up with you. Luke, you mentioned in the open that we're doing a throwback jersey, right?
We are, 1975.
That's right. Texas A&M donning alternates today to celebrate the 50th anniversary of their 1975 Southwest Conference championship team. That year, the Ags went 10-2, 6-1 in the league, and shared the title with both Arkansas and Texas. They won their first 10 games of the season before going up to Fayetteville in early December, losing that one. And they made it all the way to number 2 in the AP poll, if I remember correctly. That was Emory Billard's first and only Southwest Conference team. So you'll be seeing Texas A&M rocking a throwback, a nod to that team. A bunch of different players from that team will be in attendance at Kyle Field this afternoon. Obviously, you can see it. That's the jersey right there being modeled by Nana Abodi-Owusu, the 12th man. It's got the shoulder sleeves. It's the white dome with a retro logo on it, the gray face mask. Really, really good look. This is the 4th time Texas A&M has worn a throwback jersey from Adidas. Remember, they did the 1939 throwbacks all the way back in 2014. That was to honor the national championship. That was the one with the hand-painted helmets and face masks. Such a good look. And then they threw it back to the Junction Boys, 1956. Trevor Knight and company wore those when they went to Columbia, South Carolina for a victory in 2016. And most recently, at least before today, the 98 throwbacks. They wore them in 2018 to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Big Ten championship team. Luke, an important statistic to note. Texas A&M 3-0 when they wear throwback jerseys. So let's see if we can continue that trend today. I did mention earlier when David Nuno was on with us, the student athlete availability report dropped 90 minutes before kickoff. The only Aggie listed is Kiadi Armstrong. There are a host of Gators listed as out. The only one that is a game time decision is Jacoby Jackson. Moving right along and into our players to watch. For Texas A&M, I want to highlight the quarterback, number 10, Marcel Reed. On the year, he's completing just under 60% of his passes. He's passed for over 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns to 3 picks. He's also rushed for 2 more scores. The last couple of weeks have been quieter since Olin Buchanan listed him atop his Heisman candidacy, his Heisman ballot. He's thrown an interception in his last 3 games. So it's important for him to start feeling the good vibes, get the good energy rolling as the Aggies are going to begin a 3-game road trip, right? Or I guess it's 3 road games in 4 weeks with a bye week mixed in there. Really need Marcel Reed to be feeling good again. On the defensive side, it's the guy who's feeling good all the time, Mr. Cassius Howe. He's got 7 sacks on the year, 13 total tackles, 12 solos, 8 TFLs, and those 7 sacks. He's second nationally, tops in the league in sacks. If Lagway is slower than expected, he does look to be hobbled by possibly an ankle injury. A&M's got to get home, and I like number 9 to do that for the maroon and white. On the Florida side, it's the SEC Freshman of the Week, right? Dallas Wilson made his collegiate debut last week against Texas. 6 catches, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. That could be the guy DJ Lagway needed to start feeling more and more comfortable as the quarterback. We'll see if that trend continues this week in front of a hostile, raucous 12th man at Kyle Field. But remember, that's a serious number 1 for Lagway, but he's also got other guys like Eugene Wilson, Vernell Brown, and J. Michael Sturdivant. So the receiving core for the Florida Gators a little bit better than they were just a couple weeks ago. On the defensive side, it's Tyreek Sapp. That's the guy I'm highlighting. 17 total tackles on the year, 7 solos, 3 TFLs, 1 sack, 2 QB hurries, and 1 PBU. He's really the guy who gets it going. And with that, it's time to remind you to go play Prize Picks, the best site to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs and use code TexAgs when you sign up to receive a guaranteed $50 when you play your first $5 in lineups. And Luke Evangelist, you've got the player squares that you're looking at, right?
Yep, I've got the updated player squares. About an hour until kickoff. This is where you're going to find the most recent and most updated numbers to play with. For A&M, you can play a touchdown scorer for just about every offensive weapon they have. There's Amari Daniels, Ashton Bethel-Roman, KC Concepcion, Le'Veon Moss, Marcel Reed, both passing and rushing or even a receiving touchdown. There's Mario Craver. There's Nate Burkacher. There's Randy Bond kicking points. There's Ruben Owens for a touchdown, Terry Bussey for a touchdown, and then also Theo Mellon-Orstrom for a touchdown. So in addition to those touchdown squares, you can go with yardage. You could go with longest reception, longest rush, longest pass. There's a lot of different options for these Aggies. Some of the ones that I like the most are KC Concepcion, 27.5 yards on the longest reception. You can go more than or less than. There's Le'Veon Moss, more than or less than 64.5 rushing yards. And then his counterpart, Ruben Owens, has more than or less than half a rushing or receiving touchdown. You can also do Mario Craver for more than or less than 78.5 receiving yards. And then finally, the quarterback, Marcel Reed. You could go passing yards with 232. You could go total yards with 265. Then there's also rushing and longest rush and longest passing numbers. So a lot to play out there and a lot that we like that Matthew and I are going to be playing with for this A&M against Florida matchup on Prize Picks.
Love that. Daily fantasy sports. Prize Picks is your place to play it. Go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use code TexAgs when you sign up to receive a guaranteed $50 and you play your first $5 in lineups. Luke, games around the country. I mentioned a little bit earlier that it's the Red River Rock Fight. Earlier today in Columbia, Missouri, Alabama beat the Mizzou Tigers 27-24. Ty Simpson, Heisman contender or no? Evangelist, what say you?
I think he's right in the mix as long as Alabama keeps winning. He's
Absolutely
the best quarterback on one of the best teams.
23 for 31, 200 yards, 3 total touchdowns for him. Ahmad Hardy, the nation's leader in rushing, limited to just 52 yards. First time he's been held under a century all year. So maybe the blueprint's out on how to stop him. Ole Miss had a struggle today in Oxford. They ended up squeaking by Washington State 24-21. Trinidad Chambliss accounted for 3 total touchdowns, but it was Kawan Lacey rushing for 142 yards on 24 carries. Washington State led in the third quarter, and they even had the ball back with a chance to tie or win with about 69 seconds. Luke, nice, couldn't get it done. Elsewhere in the country right now, Indiana, Oregon, quite a ball game. Remember, McAfee picked the Hoosiers on game day. They lead 13-10, in Eugene as we speak. And Texas is currently leading Oklahoma 10-6. You've got it on right in front of you, don't you, Mr. Evangelist?
Yeah, it is a commercial break, so I'm watching a commercial.
Bummer. I was going to hope for time score momentum, but you can't provide that. Notre Dame's pulling away from NC State. Arkansas and Tennessee are tied 17-17 at halftime. A little bit later on tonight, obviously, the Ags are at 6 o'clock on ESPN. The 6:30 ABC game is number 11 Georgia at Auburn. The Dogs are 3.5-point favorites in the Deep South's oldest rivalry. And then on the SEC Network at 6:45, South Carolina goes down to Baton Rouge to face the 11th-ranked Bayou Bengals. LSU, a 9.5-point favorite. Luke, that seems a little wild to me. Seems a bit high for my liking for a Brian Kelly coach team.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sold that either of these teams are any good, and for that, I don't think that spread should be anything more than a touchdown. But I guess since they're playing in Baton Rouge at night, you got to respect it.
Elsewhere, when it comes to the maroon and white, Texas A&M soccer fell last night in Baton Rouge, 4-1 to LSU. They've got 3 regular season matches remaining. They'll be back at Ellis Field on Thursday night to face Mizzou. The volleyball team, after they dropped that top 10 showdown with number 3 Kentucky on Wednesday, they head to Starkville tomorrow, 2 p.m. We've got an advance written on TexAgs right now. It's number 9 Texas A&M versus Mississippi State on first serve, 2 p.m. tomorrow. Baseball defeated TCU 8-4 in a 12-inning exhibition. I was there the entire time. Luke Evangelist was not. More on that exhibition on TexAgs.com now. Also, softball. You want more softball content? Kay Nagley provides it. They blanked Texas State yesterday in an exhibition at Davis Diamond. 3 exhibitions in as many nights for Trisha Ford and company. Next on their docket is a Friday trip to Austin to face Texas at McCombs Field. And then, Luke, I don't know if you've paid any attention to this, but this might be the best story in all of sports right now. Do you know what the Masters 1000 is?
I had no idea what that tennis tournament was until about a couple days ago.
Exactly. It's Arthur Rinderknecht and Valentin Vachereau, 2 Aggies. They are cousins. They have made their way to the final and will be facing each other on Sunday morning. The match begins at 3:30 a.m. Central Time. That's right around the time Luke and I get home from Northgate, so we'll be turning on the tennis channel to check it out. Rinderknecht played at A&M from 2014 to 2018. Vachereau 17 to 20. Rinderknecht took down Medvedev, and then Vachereau took down Djokovic. Like, these are ginormous names these 2 Aggies are beating. They are cousins, Aggies, former Texas A&M tennis players meeting in one of the bigger non-major tennis tournaments in the world. That's super, super cool. I think I'm going to catch the highlights when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah, I'm thinking, as you mentioned, getting home from Northgate at about that time. I think it's an awesome story. I normally don't watch non-major tennis, but if it's 2 Aggies and their cousins, I feel like that's all the reason I would need to watch it. But yeah, if I don't make it at that early morning start time, I'll just have to watch the highlights on Twitter. But you're absolutely right. A great story. If you want some time score momentum, Texas was backed up to their goal line after a punt from OU, and 3rd and pretty medium. They just converted about a 30-yard pass, so the Longhorns are driving once again.
Boo. Right. We're allowed to boo. I think Aggies are allowed to boo. Anyways, moving on. We're going to make some predictions as we wrap up this edition of the TexAgs Tailgate Show. My record on the year, I did the math. I'm now 13-10. That's a winning record. We're above 500 Evangelists. 3-2 last week. I had Mario Craver scoring on his old team. Check. I had the Aggies running for 200. Check. Turns out I sold them a little short. I should have had them running for 3 bills. And then I had them moving to 5-0 with a 2-score win. Check. Where I missed was the Aggies having 2 interceptions in the secondary. They only had 1, but I also said they would win the turnover battle. So I get a half point, but we don't give moral victories on this show, so it's a full loss. And then Callie Garner helped me out, but I'm owning it. She made the prediction that Theo Orstrom would score. He did not. So I went 3-2. Callie, that's my bad. I put you in a poor position. I didn't put you in a spot to succeed. I'll learn from it. My Florida predictions. Here's what I've got, Evangelist. Give me 2 Malcolm 2 Cassius Howe sacks today of Mr. DJ Lagway. Second, I will take KC Concepcion to lead Texas A&M in receiving. I know it's kind of a coin flip, right? Like, it's either him or it's Craver. I'll go with number 7, the NC State transfer. My third one is I want another Damian Sanford TFL. He's been playing lights out. He's the SEC Defensive Player of the Week. Let's see Sanford get into the backfield and stop a guy behind the line. I'll also see a guy from behind the line carry the ball forward for maybe a short yardage first down. Tight end Nate Berkacher. I think he's going to have a carry. He'll probably have a reception too, but I'm going to see him carry the ball in a short yardage situation. Prediction 4 is Berkacher getting another touchdown. And then 5, I've got the Aggies win and covering a 9.5-point spread. Evangelist, you reacted to something on the TV. What just happened?
I mean, Texas just keeps converting 3rd and longs here. 3rd and 7 on their own 35. Swing pass to Trey Wisener, and OU just flubs a tackle for loss, flubs a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and now Texas is about at midfield. It's just that OU defense is shooting themselves in the foot a little bit too much, and Texas is starting to roll.
Well, let's say we sign up on this program, let the people get back to watching the Red River Rock fight. You and I will hate watch Oklahoma versus Texas, counting down the next hour before Texas A&M versus Florida. 5th-ranked Aggies and the Gators, 6:05 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. Thanks so much for tuning into this edition of the TexAgs Tailgate Show presented by our good friends at Duck Camp. And let's beat the hell out of the Florida Gators.